Hello and welcome to the new instalment in our Coffee Break QI series, Getting Started with Your QI Projects, Part 2. My name is Shelley Wreford and I'm an Improvement Advisor for Birmingham and Solihull Mental Health Foundation Trust. And today I'm going to talk to you through some of the key factors you need to consider as you're getting started with your QI project. In Part 1 of our Getting Started series, we looked at project teams and project readiness. In Part 2, we're going to focus on identifying a quality issue and early project team tasks. Identifying a quality issue to focus on probably seems like a fairly easy and straightforward task. However, getting this bit right relies on fundamental understanding of the problem or issue you're trying to fix. This may seem obvious, but all too often we see people attempting to embark on their QI project with a solution-focused aim, that is, one idea that they want to implement. This approach often leads to projects that don't address the root cause of the issue or the heart of the problem. That is why in QI we talk about developing outcome-focused aims that articulate the desired end result. Before you can develop an outcome-focused aim, project teams must first seek to understand why there is a problem or issue in the first place. To help with this process, you should try and understand these fundamental questions to help you understand the problem before embarking on your QI work. What are stakeholders, staff, service users and carers saying about the issue? Do we understand the issue? Is it a quick fix or a messy issue? The first thing to do when you identify a quality issue is listen. What are stakeholders, staff, service users and carers saying about it? All of these people are part of the system you're trying to improve, and they will all have a viewpoint that is relevant to your project. Understanding everyone's position in relation to the issue will help you understand whether the focus of your project is a priority problem for anyone else. In not taking the time to do this, you run the risk of focusing on an issue that others don't see as an issue, meaning they'll be less likely to engage or invest in the idea of wanting to bring about change. Once you've listened and understood what others are saying about the issue, the next step is to spend some time challenging your own assumptions. Carry out your own observations and do some reflection on your findings. Taking these steps will help the project team identify the right issue to focus on, identify important members of the project team, and help you understand how important or urgent the quality issue is. Baseline data, where available, is an important starting point for any project. It not only helps you to understand the extent of the problem you're trying to focus on, it can also be used to track any improvement over time. Process mapping is another means to understand the problem and help focus the scope of your project. By plotting the sequence of steps involved in a system, service or process, you can readily identify bottlenecks, inconsistencies, poor handoffs and non-value added steps. Understanding this helps target your improvement efforts. Other tools you can use to understand the problem and identify areas in which you can improve it include fishbone diagrams. These can help us understand the main causes of quality problems and sub-causes leading to each of the main causes. And Pareto charts. By plotting on a bar chart the frequency of different quality problems with bars ordered from most to least frequent, you can better identify the most frequently occurring problems. Once you've identified your quality issue, the final step is deciding whether it is a quick fix or a messy problem. This is an important step and not one to be overlooked because it will determine the approach you take to improving it. Although some quick fixes can benefit from aspects of the QI toolkit, for the most part quick fixes don't require a QI methodology. If it is an easy solution and if you know it will work, you can just implement it. For example, installing new doors on a ward. This type of improvement activity sits in the realm of implementation rather than a quality improvement project. An example of a messy quality issue is the reduction of restrictive practice. This quality issue is one that requires multiple solutions, therefore would benefit from a systematic quality improvement methodology, like the model for improvement. So now that you've established the focus of your quality improvement efforts, how do you go about getting started with your quality improvement project? In part 1 of our Getting Started Coffee Break QI videos, we talked about the importance of a project team. Establishing your team and working together with them from the outset helps promote ownership and engagement in the improvement work. It is no wonder that it is the first stage of the QI project roadmap. Once you've established your team, it is always good to have an understanding of your project timescales from the outset. Agreeing this as a team will help focus your improvement efforts and help establish commitment to the work. A reasonable timescale for a QI project is typically 6 to 9 months. As well as setting out your project roadmap, in the initial project meetings with your project team, you will also want to try and agree these key things. Agendas. Being clear about the planned content of your early meetings and subsequent meetings going forward will help ensure team members come to project meetings prepared. This in turn will help keep conversations and project work on track. Meeting dates and times. Meeting frequently for shorter periods of time is more conducive to project progress than meeting infrequently for longer periods of time. Aim for 15 to 30 minutes per week in order to maintain focus and momentum, and perhaps a longer monthly meeting to bring learning together. Where possible, tag the shorter meetings onto existing meetings to help with attendance. Roles and responsibilities. Establishing who is doing what from the outset is essential if you want to avoid the project lead doing all of the work. Key roles include the minute taker, someone who keeps a record of discussions and actions, the data person, someone who collects data for your family of measures, comms lead, the person who is going to keep the rest of the ward or team up to date with the project, and the Life QI lead, the person who will maintain a record of the project on Life QI. Once you've established when and how the project team is going to come together, the next tasks over the coming meetings will be to build your driver diagram and develop your measurement plan. I will not go into detail about these steps now. We have separate detailed coffee break videos on both driver diagrams and measurement plans available on YouTube and on our QI pages on Connect. In summary, identify the right quality issue to focus on by listening to what people are saying, understanding the data, and challenging your assumptions. Choose the right improvement methodology for your quality issue, and carry out the early project team tasks to help ensure momentum and focus. Getting these first few steps right will ensure you have a well-organised project team who are focusing on the right quality issue with a clear improvement plan in place. That is the end of our coffee break QI video today, Getting Started, Part 2. If you would like any more help on any of the information we've shared today, please don't hesitate to get in touch. You can contact us via email or you can follow us on Twitter. You can also find further resources and information on our QI Connect pages, along with other coffee break QI videos. Many thanks for listening today. We'll see you soon for the next instalment of Coffee Break QI.